there's so much speculation as to what Fanatics is going to be bringing to the industry, and a lot of it circles around the chain of distribution.
Totally.
Are you able to share anything with us? And I know I'm going to put you on the spot, but
Okay.
you only know what you know right now and where you guys are at and what you're able to say. But I'm just going to hone in on, I guess, three of the major stakeholders in our hobby right now: distributors, LCSs, and breakers. Of course, collectors are the most important, but they're not part of distribution until secondary market. So I'm not raising them right now. But what can you tell us, if anything, about plans for distributors, LCSs, and breakers?
Yeah. This is the most important question we'll talk about today for sure. And just as an FYI, I just realized my phone's about to die. So what I'll do is I'll answer this question. I know you do a segment where you like to identify and call out a lot of people that are on. So I'll switch to my computer after I ask this question, and then I'll come back on and we'll keep going. So three parts, right? Distributors, card shops, and breakers. For sure, all three of those groups will still continue to be part of the hobby for long term. Hobby shops, frankly, they're the most important, and they've always been the most important. That hasn't changed with us. It's always been the touch point for the customer, the place where you can learn, the place where it's the greatest opportunity to come into the hobby. Distributors and breakers who buy direct from the card manufacturers today, all of that is on one hand up in the air to figure out how that evolves, but those functions still have to exist. The cards still have to move through there. We're never going to have everything 100% go direct to consumer, and we're never going to have 100% where we go direct to hobby shops either. Like distributors have to continue to exist. And breakers are kind of similar to hobby shops, and they become almost more important, or they have increased in importance. I don't want to say more important, increase in importance, as they also are a way to bring in new people to the hobby. All of this goes to that same point I mentioned earlier, which is how do we grow the hobby? How do we bring more people in? How do we keep those people in there, create that experience for them? And so because of that, and this dovetails with another related topic, which is we will continue to create technology not only for direct to consumer, but in order to keep those people in the hobby, in order to make it easy for them to do the things that they want to do. So if that means that we then use that technology as a way to distribute product to hobby shops or distributors or breakers, so be it. We could, for example, run a blind Dutch auction where the only people that can participate are hobby shops. And it's just a mechanism of distribution to them, and gets a pricing to them, but they're the only ones that can participate, or breakers or distributors or whomever. So these things are actually interrelated. It's not like blind Dutch auction is just for direct releases and like all of this goes together as we figure out what is that right holistic strategy. Because look, if we do this right, if the hobby shops and the distributors and the breakers, also all embrace technology, embrace bringing in new customers, this whole thing is 10x, 20x where we're at today. It's so small how many people actually collect cards right now compared to the number of sports fans, the number of culture collector. It's so small. So that's the goal. There's no magic bullet on that one. Like, we have to work through all of that and figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. Before you have to go to your computer, I hear some LCS owners who don't get allocation. They're very frustrated with the current the current system because they can't get product. Is Fanatics going to attempt to make that easier for LCSs to get product?
It's actually a broader conversation than that, which is so there was so Topps has an annual industry conference where it's breakers, distributors, hobby shops, etc. It was last week. It was in Arizona, and I was there with them, and they told everybody that they're working on a broader hobby shop program, and that's right. And we're gonna work with them to figure out, because it's not just about allocation. That's one part of it, and the who gets allocation, how, when, why, all of that should be more clear, and it will be more clear. And there will be a better system for it. But it's also about things like sharing data back and forth, or maybe there's a place where there's co-op dollars and marketing dollars that we actually help market local shops. Or, we now have the leagues and the players associations as equity partners in our business. So if you're a local hobby shop in DC, well, then maybe we tap the players association and have nationals players available to come do breaks at your store. Or, there's just a lot of ways that we can work with them. So there needs to be a broader hobby shop program, just generally, and allocation will be part of that. And it will get clearer and more, at the very least, everyone will have a fair opportunity to at least state their case, understand why they get product and why they don't.
Okay, no, that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've also heard, rumblings or speculation that Fanatics is going to open up a chain of Fanatics sports card stores. Is there a strategy there that we're going to learn about in the future?
There is nothing that is imminent. I certainly have no news coming soon that we're going to do that. Fanatics has local shops in arenas where they sell product, and they do sell trading cards at some of them. Fanatics runs the NBA store. We want trading cards to be everywhere. I don't think that right now that's anywhere near the highest priority for us to do. But who knows, as we go on, we want trading cards to be everywhere. And by the way, there's Fanatics and there's Fanatics Collectibles, which are our two separate companies. Obviously, we're very much, we're majority owned by Fanatics, but those stores in the arenas are run by Fanatics, the commerce company, which is separate from us. So, all of these things we're working through, but I can promise you there's no next week, all of a sudden we're going to announce, franchises of Fanatics hobby shops. That's not a priority for us.